students, how are you all? I hope you all are fine. I am your maths teacher Anjali Daya. Let us start our topic decimal numbers. Hey Misha, guess what? Fractions have a secret identity. That's interesting. Tell me more about it. Fractions can also be written as decimals and they mean the same thing. Fractions and decimals are just different ways to show parts of a whole, like 3 by 10 is actually 0.3. You mean fractions and decimals are two sides of same coin? Does that mean 25 by 100 is the same as 0.25? You got it. Fractions just switch to their decimal form when they are part of the multiples of 10, such as 10, 100 and 1000. Now decimals. The term decimal comes from the Latin word decim, which means tenth. Fractions that have a denominator of 10, 100, 1000 or any multiple of 10 are known as decimal fractions. For example, 1 by 10, 25 by 100 and 7 by 1000 are all decimal fractions. A decimal number consists of two parts that are separated by a point known as the decimal point or dot. The part before the decimal point is called the whole number. The part before the decimal point is called the whole number, while the part after it is referred to as the decimal part or fractional part. Decimal fractions can be expressed as decimal numbers. To do so, we remove the denominator and use a decimal point before the numerator. For instance, 1 by 10 can be written as 0.1, 25 by 100 becomes 0.25 and 7 by 1000 is represented as 0.007. Decimals show parts of a whole in smaller units. Let us understand how. Imagine a large chocolate bar divided into smaller pieces. Let us see how each piece changes as we make it smaller. Now, 1.005. 1 is the whole number, this is the decimal point and this is the decimal or fractional part. Now, tenths. Suppose we have one whole chocolate bar. If we cut it into 10 equal pieces, each piece will be 1/10th of the bar. So, one piece can be written as 1 by 10 or 0.1 in decimal form. We read 0.1 as 0.1. Now, 1 by 10 of chocolate bar. Now, 100th. Now, slice each of those 1/10th pieces into 10 smaller pieces. Each tiny piece will be 100th, which can be written as 1 by 100 or 0.01 in decimal form and read as 0.01. Now, thousandths. Finally, let us go even smaller. If we divide each 100th piece into 10 tiny pieces, we got 1 thousandths. Each piece is 1 by thousandths or 0.001 in decimal form and read as 0.001. Now, lock into your brain. Each time we split the whole into more parts, we get a smaller decimal. Tenth is 0.1, hundredth is 0.01 and thousandth is 0.001. Now, place value of decimal numbers. Just as whole numbers have place value moving to the left from the ones place, decimal have place value moving to the right after the set decimal point. The value of a digit decreases 10 times as we move from left to right after the decimal point. Let us consider the number 7594.163 and place its digit in the decimal place value chart. This is the whole number part, ones, tens, hundred and thousand, and this is the decimal part, that is decimal point, tenth, hundredth and thousandths. That is 7594.163. Read as 7594 and decimal point is read as 163 thousandths. So, 7594.163 is read as 7594 and 163 thousandths. Learn with fun. Write the following decimal numbers into whole parts and fractional parts, then write their number names in your notebook. Now, first number is 234.5. 234.5. 5। तो बच्चों सेम मेथड को यूज करते हुए बाकी के पार्ट्स आप खुद ट्राई करेंगे। नाउ नेक्स्ट, फाइंड एंड राइट द प्लेस वैल्यू ऑफ द हाईलाइटेड डिजिट्स। नाउ फर्स्ट एट थाउजेंड्स प्लेस 7,000s, here is 9 tens, here is 0 hundredths, 0 is 6 tenths. Now expanded form of decimal numbers. In previous classes we learned that the expanded form of a number shows the sum of the place value of its digits. Decimal numbers can also be expressed in expanded form in three ways: decimal form, place value form and fractional form. Let us understand it by writing 42.753 in expanded form using each of these forms. To express 42.753 in expanded form, we break it down into place value of each digit. Here 42 is the whole number part and 753 is the fractional part. Now first is decimal form. In decimal form, we convert each digit in the whole and decimal parts to its decimal value. Whole number part. The digit 4 is in the tens place, so it is represented as 4 into 10 is 40. The digit 2 is in the ones place, so it is represented as 2 into 1 is equals to 2. Now decimal part. The digit 7 is in the tenths place, so it represents 7 into 0.1 is 0.7. The digit 5 is in the hundredths place, so it represents 5 into 0.01 is 0.05. The digit 3 is in the thousandths place, so it represents 3 into 0.001, that is 0.003. So the decimal number 42.753 can be written as 40 plus 2 plus 0.7 plus 0.05 plus 0.003 in decimal expanded form. Now place value form. In place value form, we name the place value of each digit, that is 42.753 is 4 tens plus 2 ones plus 7 tenths plus 5 hundredths plus 3 thousandths. Now third is fractional form. In fractional form, we convert each digit's place value into fractions. 42.753 is 40 plus 2 plus 7 upon 10 plus 5 upon 100 plus 3 upon thousands. Now example 1. Write 4000 plus 70 plus 5 plus 2 by 10 plus 9 by 100 plus 2 by 1000 in standard form. Solution: 4000 plus 70 plus 5 becomes 4075 and 2 by 10 is 0.2, 9 by 100 is 0.09 and 2 by 1000 is 0.009 and it becomes 4075.292. Now no more. If a digit is missing in a decimal number in either the whole part or the decimal part, we fill in the missing part with 0. For example, 0.75 and 2.001. Now types of decimals. First is like decimals. Like decimals have the same number of digits after the decimal point. For example, 2.35, 4.67 and 0.89 are like decimals because each number has 2 decimal places. Now next is unlike decimals. Unlike decimals have different number of digits after the decimal point. For example, 3.4, 2.56 and 1.789 are unlike decimals because they have 1, 2 and 3 decimal places respectively. Now next is equivalent decimals. Represent the same value even if they look different. We can create equivalent decimals by adding zeros at the end of decimal or by dividing or multiplying by 10 as long as the value does not change. Example: 0.5, 0.50 and 0.500 are all equivalent decimals because they represent the same value. Now think. Write 2 equivalent decimals of the following decimal numbers. That is, A is 0.6 and 0.60 and 0.600 and 7.9 is 7.90, 7.900. Now think and do. Color the garden lizard using the following color code based on the number of decimal places and decimal fractions in each number. Now, number with 1 decimal place pink, number with 2 decimal places blue, number with 3 decimal places purple and decimal fractions, for example 1 by 10, 3 by 10, it is orange. तो बच्चों ये एक्टिविटी आप खुद ट्राई करेंगे और कलर फिल करेंगे. Now next is conversion of unlike decimals to like decimals. We follow the given steps to convert unlike decimals to like decimals. First, identify the decimal number with the highest number of digits after the decimal point. Now add zeros to the end of the other decimal until they have the same number of decimal places as the identified number. Now example 1. Convert 3.5, 2.75 and 4.125 into like decimals. Solution. Among the given numbers, 4.125 has 3 decimal places. To match this, we add zeros to the end of the remaining numbers. So 3.5 becomes 3.500 and 2.75 becomes 2.750. Thus 3.500, 2.750 and 4.125 are like decimals as they have the same number of decimal places. Now in text exercise 1, question number 1, write the number name of the following decimals, that is 5.063, 063. तो बच्चों सेम मेथड को यूज करते हैं, बाकी के पार्ट्स आप खुद ट्राई करेंगे. नाउ नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन नंबर 2, एक्सप्रेस द फॉलोइंग नंबर्स इन एक्सपेंडेड फॉर्म एज पर द डेसिमल फॉर्म, प्लेस वैल्यू फॉर्म एंड फ्रैक्शनल फॉर्म. नाउ ए पार्ट 102.297. So decimal form it is 100 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0.2 plus 0.09 plus 0.007, and in place value form it is 100 plus 2 ones plus 2 tenths plus 9 hundredths plus 7 thousandths. And in fractional form it is 100 plus 0 plus 2 plus 2 by 10 plus 9 by 100 plus 7 by 1000. तो बच्चों सेम मेथड को यूज करते हुए बाकी के पार्ट्स आप खुद ट्राई करेंगे. Now next question number 3, write the following decimals in standard form. Now A part, that is 179.111. तो बच्चों सेम मेथड को यूज करते हैं, बाकी के पार्ट्स आप खुद ट्राई करेंगे. Now next question number 4, convert the following unlike decimals to like decimals. Now A part 3.52, 2.75, 4.125. So it has the greatest decimal points, that is 3. So 3.520, 2.750 and 4.125. Now they are like decimals. तो बच्चों सेम मेथड को यूज करते हैं, बाकी के पार्ट्स आप खुद ट्राई करेंगे. नाउ नेक्स्ट इज कंपैरिजन ऑफ डेसिमल नंबर्स. हे काया, I am finding it difficult to figure out how to compare decimal numbers. Can you help me? Sure. Rahul, it's actually quite simple. Let us go through the steps together. Now, first, convert the unlike decimals to like decimals. Next, compare the whole number. The larger whole number means greater decimal. If whole numbers are the same, compare the tenth. The largest tenth digit is greater. If tenths are the same, compare the hundredths. The larger hundredths digits is greater. If hundredths are also the same, compare the thousands. The larger thousands digit is greater. Thanks Kaya. Now I will use these steps to compare decimals. Now example 1. Put the correct sign greater than, less than or equals to 3.45 and 3.405. Now solution, 3.45 and 3.405. Number with more decimal places is 3.405. It has 3 decimal places. First make the decimal places of both decimal equal. Since 3.405 has 3 decimal places, rewrite 3.45 as 3.450. Now compare each place. The whole number part 3 and 3 are the same. Now in the 10th place both the numbers have 4. So check the 100th place. In 100th place 5 is greater than 0. Thus 3.45 is greater than 3.405. Now B part, 0.876 and 0.8760. Number with more decimal places is 0.8760. It has 4 decimal places. Add a 0 to 0.8760, making it 0.8760, so that both decimal have the same decimal places. Now each digit matches exactly in every places. Thus 0.8760 is equals to 0.8760. Now example 2, arrange 4.32, 4.302, 4.23 and 4.203 in ascending order. Now solution, list the decimal with equal places values by adding extra zeros to make each number have the same number of decimal places. Now decimal numbers, every digit have same number at ones place. Now 10th place 3322, 100th place 2030 and 1000th place 0203. Now 4.32 becomes 4.320, 4.302 is equals to 4.302, 4.23 becomes 4.230, 4.203 is 4.203. Since the whole number part of each decimal number is the same, we compare the decimal part to arrange the given numbers in ascending order. Here the smallest number is 4.203. Thus the ascending order of the given number is 4.203 is less than 4.230, is less than 4.302 and is less than 4.320. Now learn with fun. Help Kashi understand where each decimal should go in the number line. Remember, the smallest decimal goes farthest to the left and the largest decimal goes farthest to the right. Now 6.7 and 6.007, 6.07 and 6.17. Now make them equal. Now 0, 0, 0 and 0. Whole number part is equal. Now compare the 10th place. So 0 is and 0 both have same. Now next 100th place, here is 7, here is 0. So 6.007 is the smallest number and after that 6.070, उसके बाद है आपका 6.170 and the last is 6.700. Now in text exercise 2, question number 1, compare and put the correct sign greater than, less than or equals to. Now A part, 1.62 and 1.602. Now put 1 0. Now 1 1, whole number part is equal. Now 10th place is also equal. Now compare the 100th place, 2 and 0. 2 is greater. So 1.620 is greater than 1.602. तो बच्चों सेम मेथड का यूज करते हैं, बाकी के पार्ट्स आप खुद ट्राई करेंगे. नाउ नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन नंबर 2, अरेंज द फॉलोइंग डेसिमल्स इन असेंडिंग ऑर्डर. नाउ ए पार्ट, 3.2, 4.15, 2.3, 4.01, 3.25 and 4.1. Now after decimal maximum digits are 2. Now it becomes 3.20, 4.15, 2.30 and 4.01, 3.25 and 4.10. Now arrange in ascending order. Now ascending order, the smallest number is 2.30. After that 3.25, 3.20. So 3.20. After that 3.25. Now next is 4, 4 and 4. 4.1, 4.0. So next is 4.01. Next 4.1, 4.1, 4.10, 4.15. Next is 4.10 and the 4.15. तो बच्चों सेम मेथड को यूज करते हैं, बाकी के पार्ट्स आप खुद ट्राई करेंगे. नाउ नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन नंबर 3, अरेंज द फॉलोइंग डेसिमल्स इन डिसेंडिंग ऑर्डर. नाउ ए पार्ट, 8.75, 8.50, 8.90, 8.95, 8.70 and 8.80 and the whole number part is equal. So compare the decimal part. So the largest one is 8.95 after that 8.90, after that 8.80, after that 8.75, after that 8.70 and the smallest one is 8.50. तो बच्चों सेम मेथड को यूज करते हैं, बाकी के पार्ट्स आप खुद ट्राई करेंगे. नाउ नेक्स्ट इज कन्वर्जन ऑफ अ डेसिमल नंबर इनटू अ फ्रैक्शन. वी फॉलो द गिवन स्टेप्स टू कन्वर्ट अ डेसिमल नंबर इनटू अ फ्रैक्शन. नाउ फर्स्ट राइट द डेसिमल नंबर विदाउट द डेसिमल पॉइंट एज द न्यूमरेटर ऑफ द फ्रैक्शन. नाउ काउंट द नंबर ऑफ डिजिट आफ्टर द डेसिमल पॉइंट इन द गिवन डेसिमल नंबर. नाउ राइट number 1 as the first digit of the number for the denominator and add as many zeros to its right as the number of digits in the decimal part. Next, simplify the resulting fractions to its lowest term if possible. Now, example 1. Convert 0.75 into a fraction. Now solution. In the number 0.75 there are two decimal places. Write the number without the decimal point as the numerator. Since there are two digits after the decimal point, write 1 followed by 2 zeros making the denominator 100. So 0.75 becomes 75 upon 100. Now convert it into simplest form. It becomes 3 by 4. Thus 0.75 becomes 3 by 4. Now conversion of a fraction into a decimal number. We follow the given steps to convert a fraction into a decimal number. Now first count the number of zeros in the denominator. Next write the numerator as a whole number. Next starting from the right place the decimal point before as many digits as there are zeros in the denominator. Next always remember that adding zeros after the last digit in the decimal part does not change the value of the decimal number. Now, example 1. Convert the following fractions into a decimal number. 82 by 1000. Solution. Since the denominator has 3 zeros, we need to place the decimal point 3 digit from the right. Since 82 has only 2 digits, we add a 0 in front to make it 3 digit number. Thus, the answer is 0.082. Now next is 36 by 10. The denominator has 1 0. We write the numerator 36 as a whole number and move the decimal point 1 place from the right. The answer is 3.6. Alternatively, 36 upon 10 is 3:6 by 10, that is 3 plus 6 by 10, or 3 plus 0.6, that is 3.6. So far, we have learned how to convert fractions with denominators of 10, 100 or thousands to decimal numbers. Now, let us learn how to adjust a fraction to have a denominator of 10, 100 or 1000 so that we can convert it to a decimal number. Now, consider converting 3 by 5 to a decimal number by adjusting its denominator to 10. Now, to change 3 by 5 to a fraction with 10 as denominator, multiply both numerator and denominator by 2. Since 5 2s are 10, so multiply the both numerator and denominator by 2. It becomes 6 by 10. Now convert 6 by 10 to a decimal. It becomes 0.6. Now let us learn how to convert a fraction into a decimal by division method. Now example 2. Convert 7 by 8 into a decimal using the division method. Solution. Divide the numerator by the denominator. 7 divided by 8. 7 is already less than 8, so we have to put 0. Now put decimal in both dividend and quotient and start dividing as the normal number. We get 0.875. Thus 7 by 8 is 0.875. Since 8 cannot go into 7 directly, we add a decimal point to 7 and proceed with division. 8 goes into 70 after adding a decimal 8 times, gives us 64. When we continue the division to get 0.875. Now, in text exercise 3, question number 1, convert the given decimals into fractions, reduce the fractions to the simplest form if possible. Now A part 2.25. So 2.25, 225 upon after decimal there are 2 digits, it becomes 100. Now divide by 5. Both are divided by 5. 5 4s are 20 and 5 5s are 25. 5 2s are 10 and 0. That becomes 45 by 20. Now 20 2s are 40 and 5 upon 20. 2:5 by 20. तो बच्चों सेम मेथड को यूज करते हुए बाकी के पार्ट्स आप खुद ट्राई करेंगे. Now next question number 2. Convert the given fraction into decimal numbers. A part 3/4. When we multiply 4 by 25, both multiply by 25. 3 multiplied by 25 is 75 upon 4 multiplied by 25 is 100. It becomes 0.75. तो बच्चों सेम मेथड को यूज करते हैं, बाकी के पार्ट्स आप खुद ट्राई करेंगे. नाउ नेक्स्ट इज एडिशन एंड सब्ट्रैक्शन ऑफ डेसिमल नंबर्स. एडिंग एंड सब्ट्रैक्टिंग डेसिमल नंबर इज सिमिलर टू एडिंग एंड सब्ट्रैक्टिंग होल नंबर्स. टू एड और सब्ट्रैक्ट डेसिमल नंबers, we first make sure the decimal have the same number of decimal places. Then we write the numbers vertically so that the decimal point are one below the other in a straight line. Finally, we add or subtract the digits as we would with whole numbers, starting from the right side and moving left. Now, example 1, add 12.45 and 3.690. Solution, convert the given unlike decimals to like decimals by adding zeros to the right end. 12.45 becomes 12.450 and 3.690 is 3.690. Write the decimal numbers vertically, aligning them so that decimal point are in a straight line. Then add the numbers and place the decimal point in the answer directly below the decimal point in the number being added. Now 12.450 plus 3.690. Decimal below decimal, align the decimal point and add them. It becomes 16.140. Thus 12.450 plus 3.690 is equals to 16.140. Now example 2, subtract 9.32 from 15.8. Now solution, convert the given unlike decimals to like decimals by adding zeros to the right end. 15.80 is 15.80 and 9.32 is 9.3. Write the decimal numbers vertically, aligning them so the decimal point are in a straight line. Then subtract the numbers. So 15.80 minus 9.32. Subtract as ordinary numbers, we get 6.48. Thus 15.80 minus 9.32 is equals to 6.48. Now in text exercise 4. Question number 1, add the following. A part, that is 202.31, 210.00, now 21.200. Now make them like decimals. Now add them. 0, 1, 2 plus 3 is 5. Decimal, 2 plus 1 is 3, 2 plus 1 is 3, 2 plus 2 is 4. तो बच्चों सेम मेथड को यूज करते हुए बाकी के पार्ट्स आप खुद ट्राई करेंगे. नाउ नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन नंबर 2, सब्ट्रैक्ट द फॉलोइंग. ए पार्ट 67.320 फ्रॉम 142.45. 142.450 and 67.320. Now minus 0, 5 minus 2 is 3, 4 minus 3 is 1.2. Not possible, we have to borrow, it becomes 3, it becomes 12, 12 minus 7 is 5, 3 minus 6 not possible, we have to borrow, it becomes 0, it becomes 13, 13 minus 6 is 7, that is 75.130. तो बच्चों सेम मेथड को यूज करते हुए बाकी के पार्ट्स आप खुद ट्राई करेंगे. Now question number 3, solve the following word problem. A runner completed 3 parts of a race running 2.75 kilometers in the first part, 3.4 kilometers in the second and 1.85 kilometers in the third. What was the total distance she ran? So we have to add, that is 2.75, then 3.40 and 1.85. Now add them. 5 plus 5, 10, 0, carry 1, 7 plus 1, 8, 8 plus 4, 12, 12 plus 8 is 20, 0, carry 2, 2 plus 2, 4, 4 plus 3, 7 plus 1 is 8, that is 8 kilometer. तो बच्चों सेम मेथड को यूज करते हुए बाकी के पार्ट्स आप खुद ट्राई करेंगे. नाउ नेक्स्ट इज मल्टीप्लिकेशन ऑफ डेसिमल नंबर्स. डेसिमल नंबर्स आर मल्टीप्लाइड इन द सेम वे एज होल नंबर्स एंड द decimal point is placed correctly in the product. Now multiplication of decimal numbers by a whole number. To multiply a decimal by a whole number, we ignore the decimal point and multiply the numbers as if they are whole. Then we position the decimal point in the result by matching the number of decimal places from the original decimal. Now, example 1. Multiply 4.36 by 14. Now solution, ignore the decimal point and multiply 436 by 14 as usual. We multiply 436 by 14, we got 6104. Now, since 4.36 has two decimal places, place the decimal point 2 places from the right in the product. So, from the right side 1, 2, we put decimal here. So, 4.36 multiplied by 14 becomes 61.04. Now, example 2. A packet of rice weighs 1.25 kg. If Rohan buys 6 packets, what is the total weight of the rice? Now, solution. Weight of one rice packet is 1.25 kg. Weight of 6 rice packets, we have to multiply. So, 1.25 kg multiplied by 6 becomes 7.50 kg. Thus, the total weight of the rice is 7.5 kg. Now, multiplication of decimal number by 10, 100 and 1000. To multiply a decimal number by 10, 100 or 1000, we move the decimal point to the right by as many places as there are zeros in the multiplier. Now, example 1, multiply the following numbers. A, 4.23 multiply by 10. Now, solution, A part, move the decimal point one place to the right since there is 1 0 in 10. So, 4.23 multiply by 10 becomes 42.3. Now, B part, 0.781 multiply by 100. Move the decimal point 2 places to the right since there are 2 zeros in 100. So, 0.781 multiply by 100 becomes 78.1. Now, C part, move the decimal point 3 places to the right since there are 3 zeros in 1000. So, 5.0166 multiply by 1000 becomes 5016.6. Now, multiplication of a decimal by a decimal. To multiply two decimal numbers, we first ignore the decimal points and multiply them as if they were whole numbers. Then in both the products, we place the decimal point so that the number of decimal places is equal to the total of decimal places in both original numbers starting from the right. Now, consider multiplying 3.2 by 0.45. Now, first ignore the decimal points and multiply 32 by 45. We get 32 multiplied by 45, 1440. Now, count the decimal places in the original numbers. 3.2 has one decimal place. 0.45 has two decimal places. So, total decimal places needed 1 plus 2 is equals to 3. So, place the decimal point in 1440 so that there are 3 decimal places from the right. Thus, the product of 3.2 and 0.45 is 1.440. Now, lock into your brain. First, the product of a decimal and a whole number stays the same regardless of the order of multiplication. Next, reversing the order of two decimal number does not change the product. Next, multiplying any decimal number by 1 results in the same decimal number. Now, find and write. How many decimal places are needed in the product of 5.81 and 0.21? How do you determine this? So, total decimal places are 2 to 4. After 4 places from right. Now, in text exercise 5, question number 1, multiply the following numbers. First, 4.36 by 14. So, 436 by 14, 4 6 are 24, carry 2, 4 3 are 12, 12 plus 2 is 14, 4 carry 1, 4 4 is 16 plus 1 is 17. Now, 10 से मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे 166, 133, 144, 4, 6 plus 4 is 10, 0, carry 1, 7 plus 3, 10 plus 1 is 11, 1, carry 1, 4 plus 1, 5 plus 1 is 6. Now, after decimal there are 2 digits. So, we have to put the decimal 61.04. तो बच्चों सेम मेथड को यूज करते हुए बाकी के पार्ट्स आप खुद ट्राई करेंगे. नाउ नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन नंबर 2, सॉल्व द फॉलोइंग वर्ड प्रॉब्लम. नाउ ए पार्ट, अ बॉटल होल्ड्स 1.2 liters of water. If a store sells 15 bottles of water, how much water is sold in total? So we have to multiply 12 by 15. Now 5 2s are 10, 0 carry 1, 5 1s are 5 plus 1 is 6, 0 1 2s are 2, 1 1s are 1, 0 6 plus 2 is 8 and 180. After decimal there is only 1 point, so 18.0 liters. तो बच्चों सेम मेथड को यूज करते हुए बाकी के पार्ट्स आप खुद ट्राई करेंगे. नाउ नेक्स्ट इज डिवीजन ऑफ डेसिमल नंबर्स. Decimal numbers are divided just like whole numbers, then the decimal point is placed correctly in the answer. Now division of a decimal by a whole number. To divide a decimal by a whole number using the long division method, we place the decimal point in the quotient directly above the decimal point in the dividend. Then we ignore the decimal point and proceed with division in the similar way as we do in the case of whole numbers. Now example 1. Divide 6.3 by 3. Now solution, here dividend is 6.3 and divisor is 3. Now start 3 2s are 6 minus kya 0. Now we have to brought down after decimal number, so we have to put decimal in the quotient. Now brought down 3, 3 1s are 3. Now place the decimal point in the quotient directly above the decimal point in 6.3. Next, ignore the decimal temporarily and divide 63 by 3. Thus, 6.3 divided by 3 is 2.1. Now, example 2, divide 32.4 by 18. Now, solution, here dividend is 32.4 and divisor is 18. Now, start dividing. 18 1s are 18 minus kiya 14, we have to brought down 4, but before that there is decimal, so put decimal in the quotient also. Now 18 8s are 144. Thus 32.4 divided by 18 is 1.8. Now example 3, divide 0.456 by 8. Now solution, here dividend is 0.456 and divisor is 8. Now here in starting there will be decimal. Now divide as usual, we got 0.057 as the quotient. Thus 0.456 divided by 8 is equals to 0.057. Now no more. When dividing a decimal by a whole number, if there is a remainder, we continue adding zeros to the dividend and keep dividing until the remainder becomes 0 or starts to repeat in a pattern. Now example 4, a rope is 15.6 meter long. If it is cut into 6 equal parts, how long is each part? Now solution, total length of the rope is 15.6 meter. Number of parts in which it is cut is 6. So length of each part is 15.6 meter divided by 6, we got 2.6 meter. Thus the length of each part of rope is 2.6 meters. Now division of a decimal by 10, 100 and 1000. To divide a decimal number by 10, 100 or 1000, we move the decimal point to the left by 1, 2 or 3 places respectively. Now example 1, divide the following numbers. A, 7.56 by 10. Solution, move the decimal point 1 place to the left because we are dividing by 10. So 7.56 divided by 10 becomes 0.756. Now B part, 23.4 divided by 100. Move the decimal point 2 places to the left because we are dividing by 100. So 23.4 divided by 100 becomes 0.234. Now C part, 89.123 by 1000. Move the decimal point 3 places to the left because we are dividing by 1000. 89.123 divided by 1000 becomes 0.089123. Now in text exercise 6, question number 1, divide the following numbers. Now A part, 6.125 by 5. 6.125 by 5. Now 5 ones are 5 minus kiya 1. Now we have to brought down 1, but before that there is a decimal, so put decimal in quotient. Now brought down 1. 5 2s are 10 minus 1 brought down to 5 2s are 10 माइनस 2 ब्रॉट डाउन 5, 5 5 जा 25 माइनस किया, सो आंसर इज 1.225। तो बच्चों सेम मेथड को यूज करते हुए बाकी के पार्ट्स आप खुद ट्राई करेंगे। नाउ नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन नंबर 2, सॉल्व द फॉलोइंग वर्ड प्रॉब्लम। ए पार्ट, अ बेकर हैज 7.5 kg of dough and wants to divide it equally to make 5 small loaves of bread. How much dough will each loaf contain? So we have to divide. So 7.5 divided by 5. So 5 ones are 5 minus 2. We have to put decimal. Now brought down 5. 5 5s are 25 minus 0. So it becomes 1.5 kg of dough is required. तो बच्चों सेम मेथड को यूज करते हुए बाकी के पार्ट्स आप खुद ट्राई करेंगे। Now let's put it together. First, decimal fractions have denominators of 10, 100, 1000 or other multiple of 10. Next, a decimal fraction can be expressed as decimal number with a point without a denominator. In a decimal number, the part before the decimal point is known as the whole number part, while the part after the decimal point is the decimal or fractional part. Next, decimals with the same number of digits after the decimal point are called like decimals. Unlike decimals have a different number of digits after the decimal point. Next, two decimal numbers are considered equivalent if they represent the same value. Next, addition, subtraction, multiplication and division of decimal number is similar to performing them on whole numbers. Then we place the decimal point correctly in the answer. Next, to multiply a decimal by multiples of 10, we move the decimal point to the right by as many places as there are zeros in the multiplier. Next, to divide a decimal number by 10, 100 or 1000, we move the decimal point to the left by as many places as there are zeros in the divisor. तो बच्चों आई होप आपको चैप्टर समझ आया, इसका रिवीजन आप खुद करेंगे।